For my research assignment, I decided to do the topic, what age is appropriate for children to receive a cell phone? My topic focused on the side effects of children using cell phones at such a young age, and I chose this topic because children today are getting phones seriously earlier than I ever have seen, and I wanted to explore some of the consequences that might come from this. This topic especially was important to me because today technology is really embedded in our everyday lives, and it even is becoming a super crucial thing for students in school, young students, elementary schoolers. So I really just wanted to dive a little bit deeper into some of the side effects that could come from this. So when I was managing this assignment, um, I had to structure my time carefully because I had to go through and read a lot of peer-reviewed credible sources. There were a lot of different standpoints that some like psychologists had on this and like some doctors had on this when I was reading these sources. So I had to revise and annotate my sources multiple times to make sure that all of my claims were really well supported. So, with that being said, my thesis for my research assignment was children should not be given their own phones until they are teenagers because these devices can pose cognitive, physical, and emotional risks to them. So, when I was writing this, I focused on three main risks. I focus on cognitive risks, and this could be things such as decreased attention span in children or reduced learning ability. And I also focus on physical risks such as poor sleep effects and how those poor sleep effects can affect the brain development. And lastly, the emotional risks that I looked into were things that children could develop, like anxiety, depression, social anxiety, or even social pressure from just using these devices. So, to support these points, like I said before, used peer reviewed articles. It was really important to me that I had pediatrician sources as well as psychologist sources because I think that they child psychologist sources because I think that they firsthand can see like some of the effects that things like cell phones can have. So when they were doing their studies, I wanted to make sure that I had these super relevant to my topic sources included. So those with that being said, those sources really helped me be sure that I could back up all of my claims that I made and have my argument be the best it could be. The hardest part about writing this essay or doing this research assignment for me was organizing all of the information clearly without sounding too like repetitive. When I was doing this research assignment, there were a lot of things, like a lot of side effects kind of sound the same. So it was kind of hard to get all of my points across and not, make it sound like one side effect was relevant for all of the three cognitive and physical risks that I looked into. So I had to fix the structure multiple times to improve some of the clarity of the claims that I had. So I had to get super specific at certain points in my essay to make sure that everything was smooth, and made sure everything flowed the correct way. So while I was actually doing this research assignment, I learned that early cell phone use seriously has emotional and developmental consequences, and these risks are not worth it if you are giving a child a cell phone too early, or a guardian is, or somebody watching them at daycare is giving them a screen or a device throughout the day. If this is a repetitive thing, it really has delays in their development, and there's just a lot of consequences that can come from this. On the writing standpoint, I learned how to write a really like well developed and focused argument, and I learned how to use more than three pieces of like evidence to back my claim up. I was really surprised by how strongly emotional health is affected by phones. I think that as teenagers and adults we really see this, but it's crazy how much that can affect children's. So us taking these devices away from children, it's not about like controlling the children, it's about protecting them during the critical times of development when they're children. So overall, my essay argues that children should not have phones until they are teens due to the risks that can come for their minds and their bodies and their emotions. And after researching this, I truly believe that phone use should be approached with a lot more caution than it has been in the past. Thank you.